Nationwide, career and technical education programs are changing, evolving, and innovating to better serve our country's needs. Career and technical education prepares students of all ages to help drive American success and vitality. Career and technical education creates an educational environment that integrates core academics and real-world relevance. Career and technical education is leading this change, transforming expectations and making a difference for students, for secondary and post-secondary schools, for business and industry, for America. I bring you greetings from the Department of Education. I'm going through this way too fast. Are you guys seasick? I bring you greetings from the U.S. Department of Education, and as mentioned, I work in the Office of Vocational and Adult Education, the Division of Academic and Technical Education in the College and Career Transitions Branch, AKA Career and Technical Educations and the Carl D. Perkins Act is what we work on. I hope to provide you with an overview of some of the national activities and the investments that come from our department. Out of our department. Most of all, I want to applaud you for your continued success in programs of study efforts as it relates to our current Perkins legislation. Not only in the development of programs of study, and we're going to talk about rigorous programs of study and even the difference programs of study, rigorous programs of study, career pathways, all those labels out there. So hopefully we'll get to a clarity place. But not only in the development of programs of study, but also the implementation at local levels. I had the amazing opportunity yesterday to spend the day at the Minnesota Career and Technical Education Consortium Leaders Meeting, and there were representatives from the Minnesota State College and Universities, the Minnesota State Department of Education staff. If you were with me yesterday, would you stand up? I got to tell you, these are hardworking, dedicated people that are working for career and technical education, working for you at the local level and in your consortium. So thank you so much for the day yesterday. Thank you so much for your work. So speaking of consortium and meeting people yesterday. I also want to say you in the audience, as you sit there as a classroom teacher, as an administrator, as a counselor, you are the best of career and technical education to our youth and adults. You are a provider for career and technical education, and whether you're working at a comprehensive high school, a technical college, a community college, an adult workforce center, we appreciate you and the work that you do. Teaching is one of the most difficult professions. It's also one of the most rewarding. And so in that regards, as we talk about the needs of future workforce, I just have to say there is a need, and that is passionate, hardworking teachers. So as you think of your role in your profession, build our own, because we need people to help teach those STEM careers, and we, Amy had mentioned all the STEM careers and all the needs that we're going to get with the workforce. We need teachers. So please keep that in mind, and thank you every day for what you do. Carl D. Perkins legislation, first off, one cannot fully understand state career and technical education policy landscape without fully understanding the Carl D. Perkins legislation that governs almost all career and technical education programs. The legislation is 2006 right now, so it is up for reauthorization, and so is the Workforce Investment Act and the Elementary Secondary Education Act, known as No Child Left Behind. So we are gearing up for reauthorization. There has been, I've been asked since I've been here, there has been conversations on the Hill and some congressional visits talking about career and technical education and the reauthorization for Carl D. Perkins. The administration last spring did release a career and technical education blueprint, and I know that your state staff has been working to present that and share that information. Regardless of when reauthorization will occur, I can't predict when Congress might act. Your senator would know. But regardless of reauthorization, you'll notice that the department is putting forth national investments in light of reauthorization. So as we move forward with our national activities dollars and our national investments, you'll see support for the blueprint and you'll see pieces of that. So regardless of reauthorization. So back to Carl D. Perkins legislation. I do want to talk about briefly, because that is the statute that we're under, and in regards to programs of study. Carl D. Perkins legislation does require states to report out on students' academic and technical achievement. It does explicitly prohibit the federal government from requiring or certifying a specific set of career and technical education standards. That causes a lot of variability across the states. So I will say there is not one state that is the same. Everyone is unique in that. States do leverage Perkins reporting, so this is a common piece. Perkins reporting as a way of providing oversight to local career and technical education programs, and that can be in the form of programs approval, program evaluation, and reevaluation. It does require, the law requires every secondary and post-secondary local recipient of Perkins funding to have more than one program of study in place. Hence the rigorous programs of study, looking at your consortium level, at the consortium level to make sure that you do have that. Programs of study were introduced in the Perkins legislation in 2006 as a tool to transform education pipeline in order to meet the demands of the global economy. As states considered how to implement this provision, there was a lot of flexibility, again, across states and how states interpreted that. So very briefly, this is the basic, rudimental, fundamental definition of a program of study in the Perkins legislation. The operational definition at the department is, we talk about a program of study is a comprehensive, structured approach for delivering academic and technical education to prepare students for post-secondary education and career success. So with that, we go out, we monitor states, much like states monitor local level, and we're looking at not only compliance, but also quality. And so when we go to a state or we look at a state and what's going on in Minnesota, what's going on in Iowa, what's going on in California, we look at the program quality and implementation. And that's where the rigorous programs of study come into play. And again, I'll explain that to you. But again, looking at those elements. Not unlike most states, Minnesota adopted a model to embrace the career clusters. While most states have adopted the models with the career cluster framework, there's still more work that needs to be done to transform those career and technical education programs into the program of study that's aligned to the career cluster framework. Using the career cluster model helps us as an organization tool. It has, especially in the education system, it helps us improve coordination and alignment among education, workforce, and economic development objectives. Minnesota, I do have to do a big brag for Minnesota. Minnesota, you are a leader in working together through the consortiums. Minnesota is unique in the country that it did combined its regional high schools or comprehensive high schools and colleges into one consortium. And so that is right in line with the blueprint that the administration has proposed. And what an amazing opportunity that you have is now with the work with the Governor's Workforce Development Council also to be a part of this and build those relationships. It's only going to get better with that consortium. The blueprint does outline that it's high schools, it's post-secondary institution, adult education centers, workforce development centers, all those working together. So again, to build and increase those relationships, and again, as the results for student outcomes. So I applaud you in that structure and those efforts. So back to career clusters and rigorous programs of study. Again, career clusters is a grouping of occupational and industries. It ensures opportunities for students regardless of their career goals. And so the use of the model, I'm going too fast again, sorry about this. Use of the model is, again, for design and instruction. It's guidance, and it's looking at seamless transitions from college to careers. As we think about former Perkins legislations and we talk about programs of study, it's really looking at it from a vantage point of all careers. So it's all students, all careers, or each student's all careers. Psych, moved too fast again. It's this thing in my hand. I can't. It's like a remote control. So back to career clusters as a model. Something that I do want to make sure that we emphasize is the foundational center target of your Minnesota model, and that is intended for the college and career ready standards. That is your essential knowledge and skills. It's those foundational academics, technical, and workplace skills. We call those employability skills. And so that is throughout the entire model. A recent report that just came out with adult education, it was the PIAC report, or PIAC report that we talk about, and that's looking at adult learners and the needs for numeracy, literacy, and those workplace skills. So again, that middle target is the foundation for all of your standards. Then your target goes to the cluster level. You talk a lot about career fields. Again, going from a broad to a narrow occupational specialization when you develop your programs. The cluster level, the pathway level is an industry sector, and then going on to occupationally specific. On the model, I would suggest that your occupationally specific and those requirements for occupational specializations are not on the model, because it's, again, it's looking from a broad to narrow perspective, which is exactly what it needs to be. So in another form or another graphic that you'll see, it goes from the career cluster knowledge and skills to the pathway knowledge and skills, again, more specific to occupational specializations. It matches a lot with the competency models that you may be familiar with from the Department of Labor. The standards were put in place when we talk about, again, about the career cluster knowledge and skill sets. We talk about programs of study to drive instruction. The standards were put in place for that. In Minnesota, and additionally, you've done amazing work with your technical skill assessments, and I know a lot of you have been a part of that. Who's been a part of the development or the help with technical skill assessments? I mean, a shout out, because great work. So that also is driving your instruction, so amazing with that. So how other states are using this is creating new programs, again, broadening it to be all careers, inventing new programs, transitioning those outdated programs, aligning this to workforce development needs, and connecting your personalized career plans of study. And as mentioned, recent legislation that you've got individualized career plans of study. That is not unlike other states. Some states start as low as 5th grade for individualized career plans of study that we're seeing in that 8th grade level and freshman year. A recent report that just occurred national level, again, never done before, for career and technical education, came out in October 2013 from the state directors, and that provides a national view of how states are organizing and implementing programs of study. So I know it's on the Minnesota website. Dan and Joanne have put that in your hands so you can compare states that way. In a program of study, I know that you have a system built that follows students for an individualized career plan of study. Again, just accolades that you're following that national model. So briefly, in a nutshell, programs of study, we see that as effective models for all students. If you think about reauthorization and alignment with where the administration is going, again, that's rigorous programs of study, those high-quality career and technical education programs. So we do believe that programs of study are a model for education for all students. It increases that student engagement and increases motivation. How many of you guys are hockey fans? I got to tell you, this Kansas farm girl, I got to watch the Minnesota Wilds playing the Washington Capitals. I got to see the best goalie in the NHL from Minnesota. Minnesota Wild. Nice, it was a good game. So that was a little recess. Have a to reality. All right, so national investment. So again, let's talk about, again, just as was mentioned, we talk about U.S. graduates for the workforce. A recent study was done that related to this, is that the perception of youth. So when we think about career and technical education programs, what's amazing is that you'll see is there is kind of a disagreement with how well we're being prepared. So educators are saying, yes, we're preparing students for the world of work, real world experiences. However, our youth and our employers are saying not so much. With the reality of that. So that, when I look at this, I'm like, wow, especially as an educator, going, I prepared them for them, but here we have a disconnect with that. So 70% of the youth, career and technical education, they do believe that it was helpful for them getting a job, compared to 30% that feel if they were just on the academic route, that it didn't prepare them as well. So if a student that's in career and technical education does truly believe in that experience. However, when youth looks at this, that they believe CTE is valued by society, that's where also the disconnect happens. The perception of career and technical education being less valued causes many youth who would prefer to take career and technical education program instead of pursuing just an academic track. So I guess the message to that is we need to make sure that we're listening to our youth and our employers with that, with our education system. We were in the meetings yesterday, and there was an industry partner there, which was fabulous. And their comment was, we're starving for skilled labor. And this was, somebody in Minnesota. So it's close to home with that for you. This slide just depicts, again, learning preferences for the young people in America. It just gives accolades that career and technical education in our delivery system is, by all means, meeting those needs. They prefer hands-on learning. We know that. For student engagement. We talk about increasing our work-based learning opportunities, experiential learning. I heard that yesterday as the word for that. So we'll continue with that. And as was mentioned before, 10 million new skilled workers will be needed by 2020. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, employers are needing that whole package. They want somebody who can problem solve and critical think, that have literacy and numeracy skills. So, and again, back to a reality. Anybody read Zits? Anybody a mother of teenagers? Anyone teaching at the high school or middle school level? I'm telling you what, if you don't know Zits, it is good therapy for that. I relate well to the mother in Zits. But even the comic strip, he's talking about high school career or high demand careers. So, his friend's like, what's up, dude? And Jeremy's researching. He said, I'm looking up demanding high stress careers. And he goes, I need a job that will let me spend less time with my family. So, and then the mom's like, would you do the laundry? So it's everywhere. So looking at that skills gap. So as a result of programs of study and the variability, we introduced, the department did vital work to look at programs of study. And we developed, in conjunction, the department has put out the rigorous programs of study design framework, identifies the 10 components, and we'll go into more detail as we follow that in a follow-up session. But I do want you to recognize that the investments that we're having is looking at discretionary grants and national activities, is really putting forth those rigorous programs of study, looking at statewide articulation agreements. We've got some current grantees that are looking at implementing the rigorous programs of study and lesson learned from that. The piece with this grant is we were looking at the implementation from, didn't matter what size school you were coming from, whether it be a rural, suburban, or urban, and really looking at that implementation of all 10 components. So really personalizing the learning with that. So again, rigorous programs of going from program of study, as defined by Carl D. Perkins, is how we use the language, moving to rigorous programs of study, which is the design framework and those 10 components. And then when you think about it in the blueprint for reauthorization, it's those high-quality career and technical education programs. So now we're working on, you think about all these things working in isolation going down the same track. We're going to connect career and technical education programs with state and local career pathway systems. And this has been work coming from, we've talked about career pathway systems with the Department of Labor, Health and Human Services, with Adult Education Toolkit, and now we're also linking career and technical education into the systems. So again, starting with all ages, adult through, or youth through adult. Why career pathways? It raises the raises skill levels, credential attainment, and employment and advancement for all job seekers. So again, youth through adult, and boosts the effectiveness, relevance to education and training, and meets the needs for our workforce. 2012, we had a joint partnership with the with federal agencies. So we're working together at the federal level in hopes that state and local level will also work together. So there is a definition, yet another definition, and Minnesota has adopted this. I saw this in some paperwork yesterday on definitions of career pathways. I used pathways earlier, talking about the career cluster model, and so what I described in pathways was the career pathways programs. So there's a definition change, not a change, but kind of clarity with that. So a career pathways, the system has a goal of increasing the individual attainment for employment outcomes. A career pathways program has a clear sequence of educational coursework and training and credentials. So looking at it from a program perspective also. So again, Education, Department of Labor, Health and Human Services. We also have work with Department of Transportation has put something out, and then also the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So all working together with career pathway systems. I think you're going to see that continuing. So that's my message to you. You're going to see career pathway systems. So yay to Minnesota. Advancing career and technical education in state and local pathways. Minnesota is one of the 5 states that are working in a pathways career systems. To really integrate all the systems. So, and I've got to tell you, career pathways efforts, you guys are amazing in your work. Some people would call this initiative fatigue, but what's really happening is you are connecting all the work that you're doing, all the different systems, again, to have the Governor's Workforce Development Council in presence here today, the career and technical education teachers, all those working together to connect those. So that's just all the different systems. You've got the Alliance for Quality Career Pathways. I believe there was a national forum here last week, November 7th. Was anybody there at the national forum that's here today? A couple of you? Yes, so made national news with that. College and Career Readiness Collaborative. You've got Charting the Future. You've got your technical skills projects, Skills at Work. So lots of things going on, and again, making those connections. So the Career Pathways Systems is from following the 6 key elements of career pathways. It's the toolkit that we use to develop pathway systems. So I'm trying to help you see the fit between rigorous programs of study and the larger system. And we look at that being component number 3 up there in designing programs. So that career pathways system fits into that system. And so then, of course, we've got an upgraded model called the Aligned Career Pathways Systems model, and that is looking at integrating secondary, post-secondary, adult education, workforce all together into one integrated system. So just kind of a high level letting you know that that's coming down and that we're building that. So again, similarities in career pathways and programs of study designing framework. Lots of similarities, lots of overlap. So again, encouraging work-based learning, stressing that strong guidance and counseling, leading to industry certifications and credentials, providing opportunities at all levels, and really looking at making sure that you articulate from one system to the next. It's kind of like a relay race when you're passing a baton. When secondary education is passing the baton, post-secondary education is right there to catch it. And then, passing it on to the employers are there to catch it. So making sure there's multiple entrance and exit points regardless of where you come from. So very quickly, just want to share some resources and tools that we've got in case you're not hooked in. That is the state's employability skills. I said I would mention some national investments. We're looking at in secondary and adult education is looking at an employability skills framework that was developed. It took all of the work from all the things going on with employability skills, career skills, and putting it into a framework. So that is on our website, and more to come with that. Think of it as helping with your career-ready practices. That's our website that we host things with career tech ed and Perkins information. We also have a newsletter and a blog that you can get hooked into to receive those. And then also we have a system that helps with career pathway systems. That's also a part of our Office of Vocational and Adult Education for those that are on the links system. So thank you for the opportunity to be here in Minnesota and learn the incredible things, share with you a little bit about what's going on at the national level and making those connections. So thank you for the day and the time.